Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Welcome to Test Drive Travels. Well, it's the future now. September 2026. Just kidding. It's actually August 2025 now. But it feels like the future because the last time you saw me was May. And a lot has happened since then. It will be... I've been on the road for 3 months now, rushing through what should have been an amazing experience. But the truth is, I was rushing and trying to get to a place that didn't exist. And even with that, months were hard, challenging, rewarding. But the path has looked very different than what I thought it'd be when I initially set out. It's come with some big updates, some big changes. And the first big update is that I'll be moving solo now on this adventure. What's most important now is that I'm going to keep looking forward. I'm going to keep moving. And for the first time in a long, long time, I'm not going to be sprinting. So I hope that you continue to follow along as I continue on this journey. Now making my way north, as far north as I can go. Still learning, still moving, but a little slower, a little bit more intentful. Now I'd like to get you all up to speed on what has changed with the rig and the Casita. A big lesson learned on the road, and one that seems so obvious, is keep it simple. Simplify your processes, simplify your life, and things will be easier. Taking things in and out of here, or from the top down, was a lot more work and taking up a lot more time than I had anticipated. So not having to rely on what's in there and instead paring that all down while keeping what I do need readily accessible either in the Casita or in the truck cab itself was a big improvement. Also, gearing up is fun. It's fun to plan and think of all the things that you'll need, but the truth is, you're not gonna need a lot of it, and you can live without most of it. So keep it simple, don't overgear. Know your limits. Know how much battery you need. Know how much propane you need. Know how much water you need. When you start to track those things and start to pay attention to what you actually need, then you can really start to build. And with the Casita, as with all things in life, make things easier or they will break you. So one important change has been the addition of a mattress topper, 4 inches of pure comfort, keeping things in places that they're out of the way, tucked up, keeping things clean and minimal, keeping things tidy, all very important. The Mac and cubby holders are still hanging on strong. The bed has had a few evolutions, but is now designed for pure comfort. The kitchenette remains pretty much as it is. Same thing for a lot of the cabinetry and items in them. Just keeping things within reach, in a place, and in the same place every time. So most day my view is from here when I work on the laptop in the morning, taking a look outside every once in a while. So with that, the journey continues. Keep moving. We keep finding beautiful places to hike and camp at, smell the fresh air and feel the cool breeze or the hot breeze, depending on the day. But we keep going. Keep going even when it's bruising and battering. Just keep going. I do want to talk about a few things from the past few months. It really was an adventure. It really was a trip of a lifetime, and it continues to be so. But it was much harder in a lot of ways than I expected. It was challenging to learn all the new processes and just learning how to do things in such a small space. And although people warned me that the space was going to be small, and I obviously knew that, I didn't really appreciate just how small the space is. And Casita has done a wonderful job with their trailers. I love the Casita, but for 2 people to live full-time in what feels like a hallway, it's just a lot harder every single day, every single minute. I felt like it was just constantly having to move and fix and figure things out, especially when you're literally on unstable ground a lot of time in a trailer. You're constantly on the move, as I was, having to figure out new and better ways to do things to make your day move better. And I think a big lesson learned was perhaps California was not the best starting spot. That is where the adventure first started. And California, for all its greatness, does have a lot of problems, as people are talking about. But there are just so many people visiting, so many people there that are going out. And the camper and campground community is heavily saturated. And it was just so difficult to find campgrounds to learn the ropes that we could stay at for an extended period of time. And places like Yosemite, which is phenomenal, are overwhelmed with people. With the adventure starting off in California, it's such a small space, having to learn so much. It felt like I was behind the 8 ball in a lot of ways. Now, having come so far from that point, it feels kind of crazy to have done, and I feel very accomplished, but it was not without its obvious costs and time and energy put into it. I wouldn't have not done it. I wouldn't have changed the overall plot for anything in this world. It's been the adventure of a lifetime, but I definitely would have done things differently. That's for sure. One of those things that I wish I would have done differently earlier on is figure out how to boondock effectively early for longer periods of time. A smaller trailer comes with some very practical restraints that can't be easily overcome, such as the size of the water tank. You need water for everything in life, and for things that you don't necessarily need but you definitely want, such as showering and washing dishes. Now, that said, having to manage water and be on top of your usage has taught me what the real meaning of sustainability is. and what my water intake actually is. That has been a huge benefit in my life generally, I'm starting to notice, and I hope it'll continue to benefit me in the future. But it was a huge obstacle to overcome. Another thing I definitely would have done differently is just take more time. For a long time, I've always felt in a rush. I felt the need to get things done quickly, and that's been very helpful in my life and very helpful in my career. But taking time to do things slowly, while also taking inventory of why I was moving so quickly and why I felt the need to go at the pace I was going at, certainly would have been helpful earlier on. It's part of the process of this journey. It's something I was hoping I would achieve, and feel like I am finally getting a hold of really a lot of what's going on in my life and what is causing me to feel certain ways. So in that sense, the adventure has been an absolute success, but I just wish I would have figured that out a little bit earlier on, which when I say that, it seems so obvious and easy, but when I was in the middle of figuring out so many new things and constantly being on the move, and constantly feeling unlevel, it felt impossible to do some of those inventory taking and slow down measures I was hoping to get at. Having been forced to take account of what's going on in my life, what are the things that make me feel any which way, and why do they make me feel that way, has been a huge benefit for my overall happiness, my overall creativity, my goal seeking, and I feel much more like myself. It's been a remarkable journey, just a very different one than I had initially anticipated. I've come to the Rio Grande River Gorge Bridge, and it is fascinating so far. As I keep finding my footing, I'm going to keep moving forward, trying to improve the Casita, the tow rig, but also simplifying my life, slowing down a bit, trying to find some room to breathe. Right now in northern New Mexico, it's certainly a nice place to breathe some air. It's feeling more and more like mine. It's pretty wild to think. Grew up in El Paso, Texas, West Texas. Very familiar with New Mexico. This is about 5.5, 6 hours from my hometown, and I've never been here. I didn't know this existed up to recently. I visited even close to here. Taos is not too far, Santa Fe is not too far. But this feels like a whole new world. New, but familiar. This place is right up against the New Mexican and Colorado border. Place I never really thought about as a place worth visiting necessarily. I've ridden through here on motorcycle a few times, but only stopped to refuel or to rest up and then keep going. But the beauty here is very unique and very different than a lot of places that I've been on my travels. That's a great thing about the US. You can visit so many places by road, and the landscape, the climate, the weather, the scenery, the mountains or hills or whatever you want to call them, do look very distinct. Here you see volcanic rock, which you don't see in a lot of places. You see cactus mixed in with tree cover at time. There's a blend, very reflective of the Southwest generally. This sort of gritty desert feel, but still with high altitude and with mountains in the background and forests very nearby. It's a great landscape, one of my favorites. I love the woods, I love the forest, and I have a strong affinity for the desert. but I've never felt like either one has really spoken to me, even the desert where I grew up. And I suppose that makes sense for the desert. It's a tough place to live. It's a tough place to go out and explore, find yourself, especially when it's so hot and the sun is beating down on you. But a place like this that has thinner air, but a nice breeze, woods nearby, it's very inviting to find peace. I mean, would you just look at places like that? Unbelievable. This is so close to El Paso, and literally the river that flows through El Paso, the Rio Grande. And I say flows, every El Pasoan will know that bad boy hasn't flown, and if it's flown even the right word, hasn't raged. There's not been water in the river for a long time. Sometimes you can get a decent flow, enough that you can tube down, but for the most part, it's a pretty dry riverbed we'd be looking at. I will say this trip has been very good for my fear of heights. Being to all these beautiful places with the heights as just a small part of it has really helped me appreciate the perspective you get at that height. I'm happy there is basically no one else out here, and I reminded myself that it's Friday, it's the freaking weekend, and still not a lot of people out here. But it also made me think about the value of routine and how over the past 3 months not working in a totally new situation, environment that changed constantly, that routine was hard to find. But I didn't grasp how easy it is to lose routine and how difficult it can be to come back onto that routine. Moving forward, I definitely want to maintain a stricter routine. It's Friday, it's the freaking weekend, but Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday, they'll come back, and it's time to do things with the day that are required and not just for fun. It's so easy to lose track of. Very easy. At this point, I'm just making observations, but it's amazing, absolutely amazing how much of an effect humans have had on our environment. Even just taking a path like this, just humans treading so many times, has created a path for others. Not saying that's a good thing, not saying that's a bad thing, but it is true. All right, we've hiked a couple miles alongside the Rio Grande River Gorge, and I think it's time to head back now so we can hopefully get some more water, because we're starting to run a little low on that, and then make some dinner. Smells like those funny cigarettes I see sometimes out here. Okay, we're back at the casita. We did not pick up water, but that's okay. We have enough for at least, I'd say, tomorrow. So we'll have to figure that out. Hands have been washed and we're ready for some dinner. We're gonna keep it pretty simple tonight. We're making chicken. Gonna reheat some pasta with a little bit of chicken from yesterday, and then maybe add some carrots to get some veggies in. Okay, keeping it simple again. Let's make this nice and easy for me. Let me get this out. Get this out. All right. A little bit of that. This is better. Up after a little oil of the olive. Let's actually start off with some red flakes. Black pepper is my favorite. Garlic pea. You know, I feel like it's missing something, so let's take a look here. Old Bay. In the meantime, we are going to move the salmonella plate out of the way. We're going to turn this down just a tad, make sure these are okay, and I am going to wash my hands again because I feel like I did get a little bit of chicken juice on them. Turn on the water pump, just get a little squirt here. Alright, bring this back. Okay. Oh, she browning. Let's get a little. Ooh, yeah. Oh yeah. Also, I have this on a magnet, and I just keep it back there. Let's do a little bit more. A little of this. A little bit of salt. We missed the chicken. That's okay. A lot of garlic powder. Is that too much garlic powder? No, it's not. It's fine. Might make people uneasy, but we gotta do it. Just gonna do that, and we're gonna wipe the carrot off. Show your carrot wiping skills, people. Someone might get impressed. Who knows? Just reuse this. It's fine. It's just carrot juice. It's probably good for you. Probably not. Probably spreading salmonella. Alright. We need a knife now. We have a knife. Let's go ahead and do this. And then these guys are flying. I'm a little bit thick. I'm trying to get away. Bulbous end here. Alright, good enough. Let's not risk cutting ourselves. Turn off the water pump. How are we looking? Not bad. Let's keep it on that side for a bit. Put these away. You know what? I see an opportunity and I'm going to take it. Get a little bit inside there. Okay. Very good. Okay, working on posture and holding a squat so I can show the pasta. I don't want to have to clean in our dish, so I'm just gonna throw this hot boy in there. And now we're gonna hear some vantage. because the black pepper is suffocating me. As the chicken's cooking, I just want to show off the spice rack. Keep the salt and pepper right here because I always grab it. A bunch of stuff I rarely use, and then the stuff I use more often by the salt. Quick check-in on the chicken. It's cooking. We're going to do a quick temperature check as I continue to get pepper sprayed by this cast iron. And let's do it this way. Let's see here. Alright, we're like at 140 right now. Pretty easily. So we're gonna let it cook a little bit more. Bring it up to temperature. Okay. Gas, noxious fumes. All right, let's check it again. Oh, 155. It's supposed to be 165, but who's counting? It's gonna get there, it's fine. So now let's just cut this up here. Make it nice and easy. We're gonna turn it down real low. Si, what about your knife? Oh boy, that's a lot. The knife will be okay. The chicken will be okay. The tongs will be okay. Just want it into little bits here. Okay, so now we take this. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and just throw his carrots in. We're just going to heat them up. We don't need to cook them really. Turn up the heat again. Let's get them in there. We need a little bit more of this. And a lot more of this. Yep. Let this cook a little bit. Continue to pepper spray myself. Organic pepper spray. It is for sale. Just reach out. testrightravels@gmail.com. Alright. I'm just going to mix it up a little bit here. Let the heats spread out. Dissipate. Much like that Miami basketball team in the late aughts, early 10s, I believe. Don't remember the exact date, but okay. I'm gonna put that there. There you go. I think it's good. Perfectly fine for me. There's gonna be hard carrots. Who doesn't like a little bite, a little crunch with their carrot? I'm ready to eat. We're doing all the wrong things. Et voila. Yummy. This is the only water we're going to drink for today. 1 cup. That's going to take forever, but it's not. Oh, the cold piece of chicken. I gambled and I lost. So I'm going to go ahead and eat probably half of this now, save the rest for later, and then I'll likely wipe up, clean up, and get ready for bed. It's the morning. I stayed up way later than I normally do and I wanted to do to work on a little project. But for today, it's just a matter of getting some more water, taking care of a few things in the casita, and moving on to the next location. All right, everything's packed up. We're just gonna load a few things into the truck now and then head on out, grab some breakfast. On the way out, treating myself to a meal cooked by somebody else, because it's been a little bit since then, and then we'll find our next spot. Big jug. Big jugs are us. All right, thank you. Carson National Forest, you're a real one. I can't see anything. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. Just kidding, I'm still alive, thankfully.